Welcome to the Jayda InStitches show. Today on the show, I've got another granny square project, and this one falls into the home decor category. I'm going to show you how to make a granny square pillow sham, and it can be permanent or removable to fit any sized square pillow that you may want to recover. In order to make your granny square pillow sham, you need yarn of your choosing. I recommend cotton if you're going to make it washable, but wool and acrylic is fine too if it's just for decor. You need a hook that matches your yarn. So in this case, I'm using a 4.25 millimeter hook, or G6, because I'm using worsted weight 4-ply yarn. A pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and you're going to want a measuring tape so that you can measure the size of your pillow, just in case you're taking this project on the go with you. First thing you want to do is measure the pillow you're going to cover. So grab your measuring tape and find the side seam. So find one of the side seams, and if there is no seam there, just look for about the middle of the side of your pillow. And you want to place the first part of your measuring tape on that side seam. Measure all the way across to the other side seam. This comes in at about 16.5 inches. And you'll notice that I've made it sort of tight and snug. That's important because you don't want your pillow sham to be too big, because you don't want that pillow rattling around in there and making your sham look baggy. So you always want to err on the side of being a little on the snug side. Then you want to start making your granny square. Go round and round and round and round and keep laying it down on top of your pillow to make sure that it comes to about the edges. So all 4 edges. And you don't want it to be past that middle edge. You want it to be just inside it. And if you realize that one more row will put you past the middle edge, then leave that row off. It's better to err on the side of being too small and going for a nice snug pillow than to go too big and end up with sort of a flat, boring, squishy, rattly, saggy looking pillow. Once you've got one square made, it's really easy to make the second one. You make it exactly like the first, same number of rows, same alternating pattern, or completely plain, whatever it is you chose to do for the first one, make the second one exactly the same. Now, if you need to stop and block both your squares so that they lay flat, so that there's no extra rippling, or maybe one of them just seems to be a bit smaller and snugger than the other one, even though you made it exactly like the first, our stitch tension changes every single time we get into a project. So if your 2 squares are just slightly off, take a moment to steam block them, because you'll be happy you did. Now's the easy part. You lay both of your squares together and start in one corner. So grab the same yarn that you finished your last row with, because this way it'll be sort of invisible. Make a slip knot and join through both the edge stitches of the top corner of both of your squares, because you want to sort of single crochet them together, and you can sew them together if you want to, but I've single crocheted all the way around here. And then you just start single crocheting or sewing or slip stitching through each set of stitches, because you're sewing them both together as you go. Then you want to do all 3 sides. So here's side 1. You can work a proper corner if you want, or you can round your corners. And then do the whole same thing down side 2, which would be the bottom. Do the exact same corner for the second bottom corner that you did over here, because you want it to be even. Then zip along up the 3rd side and do the same corner that you did with the other 2, just to keep it all nice and even. Once you get around that 3rd corner, give yourself a nice bit of slack, so pull up a big long string or big long loop, because you don't want it to unravel on you. And this is the point when you get to stuff your pillow into your new pillow sham. Now you want it to be tight, because you don't want that floppy sloppy look. Make sure it's in there, even up all of your edges. And if this is permanent, you can now finish single crocheting across the top. Or You can work a zipper into it. I did a tutorial not so long ago on putting a zipper into single crocheted or crocheted articles, and you could totally hand sew a simple little zipper across the top of this, and then you can unzip it whenever you want, pull out the inside cushion, and toss the whole thing into the washing machine and clean it up, if you're so inclined. But if this is permanent, just grab your hook again. Then you just put your hook back in where you left off, make sure your sides are aligned, and just continue single crocheting or slip stitching or whip stitching, whatever it is you decided to do, all the way along the last side of your granny square pillow sham until you get to the end, and then you can just fasten off, weave in your ends, and you're all done. And that is how you make a simple granny square pillow sham to cover a simple square pillow. And you can make them for any sized square pillows. A little while ago, we did another tutorial on different things you can do with granny squares. And I made tiebacks for our kitchen curtains. So I am going to put this next to the kitchen curtains because I made it to match. Little simple decor just to brighten up any space in your house. And if you want to see that tutorial and the other nifty little things we did with granny squares, you can check out that link in the description box down below, along with the granny square tutorial if you need help making granny squares. That is it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are going to decorate with granny squares around your house, I would love to see pictures. You can send them to me, publicly or privately, on Google+. You can send them to me on Pinterest. You can post them to me on Instagram, and you can always drop into my Etsy shop, say hello, and send me a picture there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you again very soon on the Jayda InStitches show. Until then, stay safe, stay crafty, and have an awesome week. Bye, everybody.